Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are so honored to be joined by Dr. Jaqueline Cox-Taylor. She's graduating with as a doctor of education with a major in special education. She's joining us all the way from Australia. Dr. Taylor, thank you very much for being here with us. Tell me a little bit about your experience with AIU. What did you like the most about your program with AIU?
It's the first time really that I had studied some of the programs that I had to study to learn how to write in an academic way. I was forced to embrace subjects that I hadn't really thought about, which are very important subjects, sustainability and ethical business. I hadn't really, because I'm so focused on children's education, I hadn't really looked into that. And so when I began the study with AIU, which was very suitable for studying while you're working, because I could study in my own time. There wasn't really any time frame. There was no real pressure. And the initial topics that I had to study were very interesting, but also broadened my horizons. And then I was impressed with how AIU reaches out across the globe to absolutely anybody that really wants to study. There's like no barriers. It's just if you really want to study, somebody is there and will help you. And I had, great support from the lecturers, and they had a lot of patience from them.
We've done online learning for over 20 years, which is what most of the world right now is trying to get accustomed to because of the current situation. So we're very, very glad that we're able to connect so many people from all over the world. So you spoke a little bit about, your work in education and specifically as a special education consultant. So how did it help you with your work?
I had taught children with special needs for a long time, many, many years. And the study allowed me to research into the topics, the subjects that I had worked with on a practical level for so many years. But I was able to look at current research. Because I work out of the philosophy of Rudolf Steiner, I was able to look at current research and see where they match. It's enabled me to share my knowledge, because with the credibility of having studied at a level of a doctorate means that people are asking the question then, it's a bit like it's an invitation to people to ask the question, well, what do you know about these children? What do you know about special education? How can we work with them? Open doors for me to share what I know. And of course, I've enhanced what I know because I've done a lot of research to go with it.
Definitely. That's great to hear. And you've published a book entitled Seeing What Is. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Well, it's looking at children exactly the way as it says, which is totally non-judgmental. It's whereby you just look and you see exactly what is happening with the child. You look very closely. Carl Koenig, just after the Second World War, said that there was no such thing really as disability, because everything is just a slight exaggeration of the rest of society. When you look at behaviours of children or mannerisms, you discover that they're exactly the same as the rest of us, as everybody else. It's just that they possibly are more exaggerated, or they're occurring in socially unacceptable situations. So seeing what is really looking at the child to see what exactly is going on for them, and how can one assist them to smooth their pathway, to help them achieve whatever they can achieve and to reach their highest potential.
So in your work, you designed and you implemented a program combining the Australian national curriculum about child behavior, and you published it. So tell me a little bit about that. Describe it for us. Did the book have to do with it? Did it come before, after?
Well, it came a bit before, really. I was working with non-verbal children who are diagnosed with autism. And there's an assumption, because a child can't speak to you or because it can't manipulate its body correctly, it can't write, that when you introduce something, that it can't comprehend it or can't benefit from it. There's a tendency quite often to treat children who can't talk or who can't write or manipulate their hands and body well, to keep interacting with them as if they're much, much younger than they are. And what I believed is that if you really get to know the child and can find a way to get some communication between you, you can bring the curriculum that's the same for an able-bodied child of the same age as the child. You can bring them the same curriculum and they can benefit from it. Whatever is in with that curriculum that meets the soul level of a child will meet the soul level of that child. Just because they can't do the output doesn't mean that they haven't received. I used exercises that are known exercises for working with children, but I put them into the curriculum so that children could be part of acting, dramas, plays, because through using the exercises that were beneficial for their bodies and their movement anyway. So you're demonstrating that part of the play that the children are understanding because they've heard the story and they're able to demonstrate it, and at the same time they're doing the therapeutic exercise.
That's amazing. And I know that you also worked with teachers. So you've worked with children, with teachers. Who do you prefer to teach?
One of the nice things about adults is if they come to you, they actually want to learn. You don't have to do any persuasion, where sometimes children don't realise that they want to learn and you have to set about persuasion first. But I enjoy both.
We congratulate you on all of your accomplishments, and we are incredibly proud of you, and congratulations on graduating as a Doctor of Education with a major in Special Education from Australia. Dr. Jaqueline Cox Taylor. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.